In this video, we're going to look at embedded objects. An embedded object is where something goes into the body. Some examples are a knife, glass, or a piece of wood. What we'll cover in this video is an embedded object that needs to be secured and bleeding controlled. The important thing we do when we treat an embedded object is to never remove it. You may have to tell the patient to leave it where it is, as sometimes people want to try and remove the item. If there's a piece of glass in the body and you remove it, you will make it worse. The glass itself is bunging up the hole, and also glass cuts when it goes in, and if you pull it out again, it's likely to make even worse cut on the way out. Another example of this may be someone with a knife wound. If they have a knife in their body, the knife is bunging up the hole. It may be that the knife is close to an artery, so when you remove it, you could actually cut the artery, again making things worse. There are reports within the medical profession of people who died due to stab wounds, and doctors say if the knife had been left in, they would have more of a chance of saving the person. With your gloves on, what you need to do is take 2 dressings, apply them either side of the item to prevent it from moving and to help control bleeding. We then use another dressing to carefully bandage that in place. Make sure you don't push down on the item, making the injury worse. You can cut the bandage to allow the glass to come through the dressing. The 2 dressings on either side of the piece of glass are used to hold it in place, and the dressings are there to support the whole thing. Once you put the bandage on, check for bleeding to make sure you've controlled the bleeding, and depending on where the injury is, immobilize it the best you can. In this example, you may be able to elevate the hand into an elevation sling, but it's important to make sure that you don't put the sling over the piece of glass, which causes it to push in. Make sure that there's nothing going to happen to make the situation worse during transport to the hospital. Depending on where you are and the extent of the injury, call the EMS or transport them to the hospital as soon as possible.